Hello, can you hear me now? Is it working? I might know what the issue was before. I hope you can hear me now. We are having a restart. I made a mistake with the lobby. It loaded the tier 1 settings. Right. A new lobby in a moment. Just hang tight. can you hear me? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello, can you hear me? Well, my apologies for the issue we just had a moment ago. The issues have been fixed, and now we are back. You should also be able to hear me now as well. So, right, let's just redo it all again then, since no one was able to hear me before. Welcome back, everyone. It's a lovely Friday evening, and we're here racing with SMAL Tier 2. We are racing in the last race of the season today, and we will be focusing on 2 drivers, especially as we have a title contender day. I do apologize in advance if I am, being shit as a commentator. But this is what you have today, and let's just go on then. Right, as mentioned, we have, as all the drivers, or most drivers, are making their way out. Right, and now, who's the first driver? It's Bartek, I believe, again. Yeah, it's Bartek again. We have 2 drivers fighting for the title tonight, so the focus will be mainly on them. We will not forget about the other drivers, of course. We have Quickie, and we have the one and only Ethan. These 2 drivers will be fighting for the title tonight. They only separated by 4 points. They have each scored multiple wins and multiple podiums. But when it comes to wins, somehow Ethan just had the pace. He definitely... So, let's just go through the stats, actually, while we are waiting. Ethan has won 6 races, Quickie only 4. They both had 3 P2 finishes, and Quickie had 3 P3 finishes, while Ethan had 2 P3 finishes. They each finished in the top 5 multiple times as well, obviously. While Quickie has finished 12 times in the top 5, Ethan only done it in 11, and in the top 10, Quickie finished 13 times, and Ethan has finished 11 times. Right. When it comes to pole, though, well, we're just seeing as Bartek is on his way, saying in first lap. Poles, Quickie has been quicker there, based off the name. Makes sense. He had 4 poles, while Ethan only had 2. So, who will be winning tonight and who will be on pole? I can very well imagine that it might be Quickie or Ethan, because, well, in the first session, we saw that Ethan was flying out there, but to be fair, we did have some issues with the lobby, based off a few settings. As we're just following then with Bartek as he's crossing the line, what benchmark will it be? Will it be better than what Ethan said? And it is 2/10 quicker than the time that Ethan had set in the qualifying session before it was restarted. Outcast now behind, 2 seconds behind actually. Teddy a second behind his teammate in P2, now promoted. Sandro has promoted himself now into P2, make it P3 as Ethan crossed the line and again quicker than the rival, setting a 1:17.3. So he's gotten even quicker during that time. Impressive stuff by these boys. We have Quickie then making his way into the final few corners, wanting to set a lap time as well. The Mercedes only going P8, so not a good lap by him there. Even much slower than Outcast. Quickie only able to set a lap time of a 1:19.1, which puts him into P7, while Alfie crosses the line, promotes himself in front of the Alfa Romeo driver in P6. We have a retirement, very early retirement then there, of McCosta, who had seemed to have kissed the barriers. So, as Lewis decides to just transform through, no, not transform, sorry, teleport. Sorry, I'm lost today. Teleport through the track. Alpine driver of Mika crossing the line. Oh, only goes P7 with a lap time of a 1:19.057. So ahead of Quickie then. So that was a really slow time of him. Interesting what he can do for the rest of the evening. As we're watching then with Lewis. He has been commentating in Tier 1 recently, hasn't really been driving, so today is kind of his comeback to the Tier 2 races, or Tier 2 League, however you wanna... not Tier 2 League, but to the Tier 2 events. As Mika, the only other driver on track, is going back into the pits, it's Lewis who's now starting his lap. Last qualifying of the season. Let's see what these drivers can do. All Lewis needs to do is drive a quicker lap time than Acosta did. So a 1:19.96 would be quite decent. If he would just be a little bit quicker, then he wouldn't start last. I think he would definitely prefer that. Yellow flags in the last sector, but that's just Mika then. Okay. Right. What set times can Lewis set? 28.6 in the first sector. I haven't really checked the times of the other drivers. But, right. I have nothing else to say. Except for it's a beautiful car there. 28.8. Right. Very careful there at the exit. It's very easy to just go too wide and then get track limits, but he's done it beautiful. He's kept it on the track within the lines. He is lagging a little bit. He also complained about it in the chat, but he keeps going. Car number 49, jumping more and more on Tractor Williams. DRS isn't even enabled, interestingly. What time can he set then? None. Oh, no, mind. He did. It just was low. It's a 121.9. Okay, so that was a really slow lap then by the William driver. Bell, Teddy, Zandro, Quickie, and Outcast and Mika making their way to the line to drive another hot lap. New tires, I assume. Maybe even less fuel than before. But we are watching Zandro now as he's making his way into turn 1 and 2. Clean exit there. Very careful not to go too wide either, because it's easy there to lose it and have a track limits warning and lose the tap time, of course. Costa just saying last to first. He has accepted the challenge. And it will be interesting to see what he can do. Sandra already 2/10 quicker in Sector 1 on this lap. So it is the quickest Sector 1 time currently. Maybe he's gonna be able to keep that lap time, improve more and more, and go quicker than Ethan currently. And another 2/10 improvement there as he goes off. As I mentioned before, for Lewis, he went off at the corner and has received the track limits warning and therefore lost the time. He was on a brilliant lap until there at that point where he went just way off and sadly lost it. But he still has 8 minutes left to go in, grab a new pair of tires, go back out, or maybe even use the same ones, get fuel, and go again. Luckily, he invalidated at the end of the lap, so he can still go in this lap and see what he can do for the rest. Quickie making his way now to the line. What can he do? Can he improve? And he does improve. It's 1:17.9, so still way off. Oh, as he's just sliding there. I've mentioned it before as well. It's very tricky there in the corner. Teddy invalidated his lap as well. To lose it. Luckily, he had already finished his lap, but that could have ended badly for him. Alfie only barely improving, setting a time though enough to go P6. Zander now starting his lap time. Mika also invalidated his lap, so he won't be able to improve. He somehow managed to spin. Oh, okay, it's the same corner where Zander lost it as well. But it seems that Mika sadly managed to... I assume he got on the curb as well, invalidated there, and spun. Outcast invalidated too. Barthek now on an out lap. Lewis also making his way on the track, but he's already almost a second slower in the first sector already, so... unless he improves by a lot. Oh no, 2 seconds. Okay, 2/10. It's showed me the out lap there. Yellow flags as Williams just suddenly disappeared. There he is again. Welcome everyone in the chat. Brandon said cold. It doesn't seem to be very cold there. It's Australia. It's very, very hot, but I know what you meant. Dooku, welcome as well to the chat. I hope you're enjoying the race so far. Lewis, what can he do? Can he set a quicker lap time than Costa was able to do before he retired? I think Zander was able to improve his lap, but still P9, so he won't be too happy about that. Lewis crossing the line. Okay, almost a second slower again. Barthek. Ryan, what can he do? Well, he lost it earlier in the first qualifying session before the restart. Going very clean through here, just on the edge there. Could have had track limits easily there, but he kept it on the track. He said, no, not today. Improving by 400ths, so at least it's something. Oh, never mind. It's actually the quickest Sector 1 time, so he is on to something there. Very quick time there for the Haas driver. DRS wide open. Need to be very careful now. Another purple sector for him. He gets very clean exit there too, where others have made their mistakes. Bartek really said, "I'm on fire today. No one can stop me, not even that corner." Into the final sector. Then, with 5 minutes remaining, he could beat the lap time of Ethan. What can he do? Can the Haas triumph the Red Bull driver who's fighting for the title today? What is it? And it's a 17.329, so it is quicker than the Red Bull's time. Haas just a little bit celebrating, coming out of turn 1 and sliding around. Ethan making his way on the track again to set a quicker lap time, because he wants that championship win, and he wants that pole position as well. Right. The Mercedes of Sandro back on track 2. What can he do? Can he set a better lap time than before? He does have the pace. He just needs to keep it clean and on the track. Ooh, that was very close there. But no harm done there. All good for him. I didn't really check what his first sector time was, but he has DRS now open as the Mercedes driver. Okay, so it's a slow lap, 2 seconds already. Maybe he backed out, maybe it's an in-lap. I didn't really see if he maybe even improved his lap before. Teddy crossing the line, P5, well done. Still a second slower than the top 3 drivers, or the top 2 drivers actually. But he's definitely getting closer than to P3 and P4. So good lap time by him, as he's just deciding to try a new track layout. A Red Bull just sitting on the track. There must have been Alfie, because Ethan is on a quick hot lap. I was gonna say on a quick lap, but the real quick guy is in P3, the quickie. Right, Ethan, only 1/10 slower, well, not only, but 1/10 slower than in the sector 2. Maybe he's gonna gonna pull some Max Verstappen stuff and improve in the last sector. I can very well imagine it, as he's going off track, somehow not getting track limits. So well done by him, making his way in the pits though, who decided, we still have some time, I wasn't a good lap, I'm going in. Teddy also going into this lap, because he has invalidated his lap, but he already had set his lap time before, so he was going into the pits anyways. Jack, who hasn't raced in a while as well, back today in the Aston Martin car. Not sure if he's on a hot lap. He's going a bit slower, so it's not a hot lap. Alfie on an out lap. Outcast just trying if the gravel is tasting well or not. Definitely not a hot lap for him. So maybe he's going in with 2 minutes remaining. Sander in the pits. Mika making his way on the track. Is it a hot lap? I think so. It's not anymore. He invalidated his lap time. Only P10 currently. Very crucial there for the Alpine drivers. He's in a championship battle to get P4 in the Drivers' Championship. Only separated by 3 points between him and Sander. Sander currently P9 though. He might be able to still get P8, because there is quite a gap between P8 and P7. But not sure what her pace would be today. Alfie already improving sector 1. No, he's not. Okay. 5 seconds slower in sector 1, so he won't be able to improve anymore, as the Aston Martin and the Ferrari just getting extremely close there. Guys, this is not the race. This is qualifying. This might be due to the connection issues of Lewis, I assume, but I'm not too sure. If it's gonna be analyzed by the stewards later on, I hope they have their footage. Ow! Is Jack getting out of the corner there, very slippery, and not being able to hold it. who is on a quick lap. Quickie is not on a quick lap, but he will be in... No, he's not on a hot lap, is he? Doesn't seem so. No, he's not. Okay, but he's about to go. There is a line forming now in the last sector. Few drivers further up the field. Lewis, Mika just retiring, thinking, I don't have time. I cannot set another lap. The drivers now making their way onto the final corners on the to the line, just about to the line, because we only have a few seconds remaining. Bartek then trying to steal the slipstream off of Ethan, but he needs to do that very carefully, because if Ethan brakes earlier than he does, then that will be very tricky. Outcast out of qualifying invalidated his lap time, so he won't be able to set a time. Zander, one of the other drivers, on a quick lap. Lewis off the track, so he is out too. Will be starting P12. Few yellow flags on the track. Hopefully every driver is getting out of the way. We can see Jack there also. Zander out too, so he will start P9. So the bottom few drivers are stopped, and Quickie then won't be able to set a quicker lap time either, as he's out of qualifying too. Just hitting the wall there, has some front wing damage. There is a Williams still ahead of Ethan, who's going very slow. Careful there, as he's jumping across the lap. Ethan going in too. He won't be able to send another lap time. Lewis, if you're listening, please retire at the start of the race. Go into the pits and retire at the start, because this dangerous connection is extremely dangerous. So there seems to be an issue between Zander and Jack. Jack's still on the track, because he demands a penalty being given to the Aston Martin driver. But this will have to be discussed by the stewards at the end of the session, at the end of the race, after the race. But it's Bartek today. Let's just have a look. It's Bartek today who takes pole position, who has improved by a tenth over his lap time he had before. My apologies, I missed it there a little bit. Bartek back on pole. He had pole before. He's done it again. It will be interesting to see, however, if he will be able to convert it into a win. Based off the current grid, it would be Ethan who I think would win the championship if it stayed like that. No, I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'm not good at maths. My apologies. But it's Bartek on pole, Ethan P2, Quickie P3, Teddy P4, Zander P5. That's your P5. And we're about to start the race, so just wait until then. We are seeing the grid right now as it's lights out and away we go. There seems to be an issue, but the race is starting now. Somehow the Aston Martin just got ahead there, but Okay, he received a penalty there because he caused a collision. A few drivers now fighting into turn 1. Ethan already making his way to lead the Grand Prix, as we see enough. Haas and a collision in the back. Haas spun in and Alpine also retired. Teddy also received a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Not really sure what happened there, but it seems a few drivers have damage. Lewis definitely retired because of his connection issues, but Mika retired because of a collision. Let's just enable the penalties. Okay, so Teddy and Jack each received 5-second penalty. Xander received a drive-through penalty for speeding on the virtual safety car. So he needs to go in after the at the end of this lap to serve it, otherwise he will be disqualified if he doesn't. Well, he has 3 laps to serve it, but if he doesn't, then he will be disqualified. But it's Ethan away from Barthek and Quickie, who's leading the Australian Grand Prix. We are racing in the wets, and most drivers have intermediate tires. It will be interesting to see whether or not this conditions will improve or not. It's a cold day in Australia, different to the hot weather we had in qualifying. The grid is already separated by quite a lot. Ethan already leading by 1 second. Quickie right behind Barthek within the second, but only 7/10 behind. Ethan, of course, setting the fastest lap, but who although expected because he's leading away. Xander making his way into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. Teddy going in as well to serve his 5-second time penalty. M. Costa as well. But M. Costa has a damage on his front wing. Not too much happening. Never mind, there is a battle between Sandro and Alfie. Alfie is on a move, already up to P4 as he's overtaking Sandro, the Mercedes driver there. But Sandro not giving up, trying to fight it as best he can. But as it stands right now, he just needs to give that position up. The possible race strategies tells Inters. So I don't think it will be drying up anytime soon. The field separated by quite a lot. As you can see as well on the track, but track map. But as it stands, this will be very, very helpful for Ethan, because that will definitely be enough to win the to not only win the Grand Prix but also the title. But it's a long race. We still have 27 laps to go. Sandro still behind Alfie there, who's gonna want to overtake his content. Oh, let me just use a different word. Follow driver Quickie, because well, Quickie is the one he needs to overtake for the championship of his teammate. It's not drying up, it doesn't seem, but I'm not sure. The strategy says inters or inter-wets. So this will be interesting to see whether or not it's gonna improve or not. I don't have other information, sadly, so this is what we have to deal with. Teddy now getting closer to M. Costa, who had to pit at the start of the Grand Prix because he had that front wing damage because the Aston Martin ahead of him jumped the start or had some or the lobby had some issues, and yeah, he was just standing there. He drove into him and received damage. Not sure if it will be investigated after the race. We will have a look. Teddy still behind M. Costa then. They're both behind 17 seconds behind Xander, who's 7 seconds behind Outcast, who's also far back as Teddy's the first driver to receive a 3-second time penalty for track limits. And we saw that there he went off very deep. So that's, of course, a shame for him. But while we're seeing this, let's just have a look at the gaps to the leader. So Teddy is 44 seconds behind Ethan, almost a lap behind Ethan. So unless we have a safety car, I don't think he will be getting any close to the top 5, because of that huge gap. I mean, he could still finish on these tires, but I'm not too sure. Well, they don't have to pit because of the rule that in the wets you don't have to have that that you don't have to change your tires. Sorry, I'm a bit lost today. The gap between Bartek and Ethan also increasing by almost 2 seconds now. Quickie 3 seconds behind the current leader. Teddy then getting ahead of M. Costa, who made a mistake going into turn 1. Went a bit wide, but it's Teddy up in P9. Of course, all of the drivers will be able to receive points at the end of the race because, well, we have 2 drivers out and we only have 10 drivers left on track. And for until in the top 10, you get points. But the driver who would receive the most points is Ethan because P1 receives 25 points. P2 receives 18 and P3 receives 15. So 10 points between Quickie and Ethan right now, and he only needs 5 points ahead of Quickie. So this is lovely to see. The Red Bull driver who helped with his teammate to get the title for the team standings last weekend, now trying to find somehow well, he has the pace, but trying somehow to win the championship tonight. Sandro and Alfie, their distance has also changed because Sandro is now back within a 1 second gap. Alfie also has a 3 second time penalty now too. So he definitely needs to keep going if he wants to still finish in the top 4. Of course, the team had already won the championship, but he would of course also love to somehow finish in the top 4 because it's the final race and you want to look good to the other teams and you also want to just show what you can do because, I mean, in the end of the day, where you finish matters to each driver. Jack is 12 seconds behind of Sandro, so yeah, it's not too much going on except for the weather, really. I mean, it does look interesting. So yeah, tonight's watchers or viewers, if you have any questions or want to say anything, just hit it in the chat. I will be trying to respond as best as I can. Just to keep the conversations going. Or what your predictions are. And hopes and whatever for next season. So Sandro can't really get ahead there of the Red Bull. He's very close. Of course, DRS is disabled because of the wet track. The distance between Quickie and Ethan also going up further. So it was 3 seconds that Quickie was behind Barthing. It's 5 seconds now. So either Quickie is really struggling on the track or he just doesn't have the pace tonight. Which is a shame, really, to see because he was fighting so well and most of the time at the top of the cheats as well. And now, well, in the most recent races, he's been really struggling. I mean, a P3 finish would still be good. P2 in the championship as well, but he was leading by quite a lot until Ethan came out of the dark and said, "Hello, I would truly like to fight for the championship too." As Alfie goes off the track, losing P4 now to Sandro, but still fighting for it. So he's made a mistake, just trying to hold on to the position. But okay, Sandro hitting the wall. I'm not sure if he has any damage or not, but Alfie getting ahead then of the Mercedes driver. This kind of reminds of the 2021 season between Hamilton and Verstappen, Red Bull with his Mercedes, but less aggressive. So this is the only, well, no mind, it's not the only other battle on track. It's Xander and Outcast who are the other 2 drivers battling, so let's not ignore that. Neither of them have a penalty, which is good for them. However, Xander was, I think, like 7 seconds behind Outcast. So he might be struggling quite a lot too. That might be benefit. Oh my god, I can't speak. Sorry, English isn't my first language. This might help out Sander quite a lot too. If he's, I mean, he's most probably gonna finish in the top 4 in the standings because his rival Mika had already retired at the start of the lap, at the start of the race, which is honestly not great to see, especially for me, who's the team principal and teammate of Mika. It's a shame, really. Sander now very, very close to the Alfa Romeo. What can he do? He will be sending it down now into the inside. They both leave enough room, and Sander is now ahead. Outcast trying to find the gap, but he doesn't find anything because Sander's already up ahead. As Outcast just trying to see if the curbs feel great there on the red. Already 1 second behind, so yeah, he's definitely struggling on track right now. Sandro and Alfie's battle continuing as well. I also noticed just now that Xander and Jack are only separated by a second now too. So as Outcast getting a bit within that 1 second time as well. So a few battles now getting back. Sandro now also has a 3 second time penalty. So whatever happens in this race, he and Alfie need to fight it on track, and he needs to win it there. Otherwise, before, of course, Alfie had that penalty, he didn't, so he just had to really hang on there. But now he needs to fight it on the track. Alfie there sliding around a bit more too. Swixy, if you're still here and listening and watching, it looks good for your team. It looks good for your drivers. One is just drifting around. The other is just flying at P1 right now. Not even seeing any other driver and just like thinking, I have the track for myself now. Very lovely. Yes. I didn't even notice. Xander and Jack got very, very close there. Xander almost ahead, but definitely side by side with the Aston Martin driver. Xander, who has already complained about the driving style of Jack, demanding a grip penalty, which will be, of course, reviewed after the race by the stewards, after footage has been sent. So there might be a grudge between these two, and hopefully they will keep it clean, because we all want a clean race at the end of the day. Our cars, because of this, getting closer again to Xander, too, as he's trying to find a gap in the inside, almost collecting the McLaren driver. Luckily nothing happened there, but that was very close, reminding me personally of the Paris Verstappen moment in Miami. Of course, here it's wet and there it was dry, but similar situation. Luckily, as mentioned, it's still all clean and well. What can Xander do now? Of course, he was gonna want to overtake the Aston Martin driver. Is he gonna wait? No, he's not gonna wait. He said, oh, you know what? I had enough of you. I'm getting ahead of you. And he's gone. So, Xander now up in P6. A great recovery drive by the McLaren driver there, who had the drive-through penalty for speeding at the virtual safety car. But managed to find his way back up in P6. I think he started in P9. So it's a great recovery drive there for him. Definitely enough to finish in the top 10 in the driver standings. Quickly losing a lot of more time. It's 9 seconds now between him and Bartek, who it seems to be just slipping away. As I mentioned, that M. Costa has retired from the race, and we have a safety car. M. Costa has retired. At the final corner, we saw, of course, one of the Mercedes struggling there. It's easy to just lose it, and he caused a safety car. This is gonna play. It might play out beautiful for the Alfa Romeo guy, as I was just about to mention it. Hopefully it's not the commentator's curse. But they might go on a new set of intermediate tires, so let's see what Ethan is going to do, and finish on them for the rest of the race, because, of course, where it's going to play out a lot in this race. What is he going to do? Okay, he's going in. Bartek now next to go in. So two drivers already have made their way into the pits to go on a new set of intermediates. Quickie now made his way into the pits as well. So the top three in the pits, I assume everyone is going in. Yes, Bell also making his way into the pits. So the top five then in, I think, oh no! They're not going on new intermediate tires. They're going on they're going on mediums. The drivers are going on medium tires, so they must be thinking it's drying up. So it's potentially drying up then. Jack deciding to stay out. Okay, interesting strategy then for him. What is Teddy going to do? Is he going in as well? Yes, he is. Okay. So we have the top four medium tires. Zan also now on medium tires. Jack still out there on the track with intermediates. Sandra also still out with intermediates, but it's a new set of intermediates. Jack received a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. What is he doing? Jack has a 10-second time penalty now. Not sure what's going on, but he needs to be a bit more careful. What tires? Okay, so we've got all the drivers except for the Aston Martin of Jack and the Mercedes of Sandro, who are driving on medium tires. So these two are on intermediates and the others are on mediums. I mean, yeah. I mean, the track does look a bit dry, but I mean. The drivers are, I mean, they're getting the information from their engineers, and they should know best. So, I mean, they're also they are testing it out on track. I mean, no risk, no fun, right? The drivers getting closer and closer together, so we can have a restart soon. So we're just waiting on that. Dooku has commented. Sorry, I haven't seen it until now. His prediction for today or the championship, not sure. Ethan P1, Quickie P2, Sandro P3. Okay, I think something unlucky happens to Bartek, and then safety car, and Quickie gets space back and fights with Ethan till the last lap. That sounds interesting. I do hope that Bartek gets at least a podium today, because he's had a lot of bad luck recently, and it would be unfair for him to get unlucky again. Bell made his way back into the pits, changed his mediums to a new set of inters. So the driver probably think, okay, it's still very tricky to drive. Not sure if we should keep it. Okay. I will be back in a moment. I just need to get something to drink, because speaking for this long is not well for my vocals. What the hell happened there? Bartek and Ethan have retired from the session. I am just... Okay, hold on a second. So Bartek and Ethan have retired the session. If you drive, Jack is making his way into the pits. Not sure what happened, but it needs to be analyzed. We might have a restart. But just hang on. So it's confirmed we will have a race restart. Because half the grid has retired, and we will be using the grid from before the end of the safety car. Before the safety car came in with Ethan P1 and Bartek P2. Just hang tight there as we're waiting for the drivers to retire, and then we will soon.